So let's get into this mask versus mask match. This match was over 33 minutes, but the entire presentation, this was basically an hour from start to finish. They re-aired that great video, and for all the complaints about the utilization of AI for this program, in the end, this thing conjured the most genuine emotion you could possibly squeeze out of a WWE match in 2026. This was, I mean, we had the mariachi band to welcome in both guys. It is, I would go and clearly state this was the highlight of these two men's careers. And I don't know if Chad Gable will ever have a night like this again in his career. It's possible, but I don't know that.
I feel like with Gable, you might point to the Gunther match with his family, like ringside, the one where his daughter was crying, as maybe one of like the other highlight prior to this. This was, as far as like crowd reaction goes, maybe just in terms of like just simple, pure professional wrestling accomplishment. I mean, this one certainly felt bigger tonight, but yeah, those would be the two.
Like here you had a sold out venue. It's just the heat was, as you could imagine, just electric for the entire time of this match. 33 and a half minutes. We had blood from both. They each were tearing at the mask of each other. I thought Gable was just fantastic as the heel in this match. And Kaiser was such a great babyface that like he would just sell and sell and sell, but then he would get that rallying cry, and this crowd, just anything he would do, they were just in love with Kaiser as he would fight back. Of course, you got the run-ins from like Brutus and Julius that led to Ryo and Bravo getting involved, and Bravo doing this huge dive off the stage, which was very high up. Forgive me, I don't remember this guy's name, but the blind comedian that was part of this angle, he was there in the front row, and Gable goes to put his hands on him, and Kaiser saves him. There was a spot where Pimpinella Escarlata shows up under a mask and smashes a guitar over Gable's head for a huge near fall. But then, maybe the star of the match, Andrea Bazzarte, the fired ring announcer and girlfriend of Ludwig Kaiser, shows up in the front row where she has produced a ticket, and JBL mentions, last I heard of her, she was getting in a fight in an elevator in Florida. And that was our reference to the recent arrest. And she shows her ticket. Gable walks up, and then Gable gets attacked by Kaiser, and it's Gable then just smashing his ankle with the chair. Kaiser gets La Cavanaria, and then Gable rolls back to the ankle lock. Finally, Kaiser breaks free. The straps come down, and after the chaos theory, Kaiser kicks out. And both men, after this war of attrition, just struggle to their feet. Kaiser has his arm around Gable and then hits this. He just runs the ropes and hits the big diving headbutt to put Gable down at 33 minutes and 20 seconds. And then this post-match, dude, the finest moment of Chad Gable's career. He's got his family in the ring. He does the whole traditional unmasking, announcing his name and where he is from. I mean, if you were following this, like it's kind of goofy the way everyone was like, oh my God, it's Chad Gable under this mask. Who would have thought? And he explains that he put this mask on to learn the art of lucha so I could beat all the luchadors I hated. But on that journey, I learned about lucha. I learned about Mexican culture. And tonight, I could not overcome the Mexican spirit. I will always be the original El Grande Americano, but tonight, you are the only El Grande Americano. And as he unmasks, the whole arena starts chanting Gable. And this is where he states he's been a pro wrestler for 13 years. And he says, I will be back in AAA, and hands over his bloody mask to Kaiser. And in the most surreal close to a WWE show, it ends with the mariachi band playing this like romantic song as Kaiser and
Cielito Lindo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Kaiser and Andrea are dancing in the ring as then Kaiser makes his way up the stage to conclude this. This was just unbelievably great.
It was beautiful. And I feel like it would be surprising to recognized that by the end of the year that this would be on many people's best of lists.
Oh, this will get match of the year votes. Like this, in terms of emotion, dude, I didn't think anything was going to come close to Tanahashi Okada this year, but this did. Like this was unbelievable. Like it was. This was the finest like presentation since WWE has come into. Dude, this is one of the finest things like I've seen on a WWE show in a long, long time. Like you could look at like Cody's win from a few years ago. Like in terms of a presentation and match, I think this was the best WWE match I've seen this year. Like it was better than Reigns and Punk at Mania. It was better than some of Styles' last matches. Just everything from the match itself to the post match. I mean. Yeah, like this will get votes for match of the year, and it will not be unwarranted. Like they really just did an incredible job with this.
It felt very much like it was the Cody Rhodes WrestleMania 40 moment, but here with, I would say, a much more ridiculous sort of like setup. But if you've kind of been paying attention, especially I imagine if you're paying attention as a Mexican, the idea that this, was initially a gimmick made to mock Lucha Libre, by Chad Gable. But because somebody like a Ludwig Kaiser not only took this ball, but somehow made it so completely like, I would say different by fucking learning a language, or at least getting way more into a language than you would expect anybody in his role to get into, being able to like, drop in slang and really, really, really embracing the Lucha Libre and Mexican culture, not to mention the whole elevator story that is now part of the lore of all of this. Again, not to
this guy is now a hero. He's
not
just
to
a hero.
condone it, but it is all part of the bottled up emotion that got released here. And it just made for one of the most incredible atmospheres that I think you'll ever see in a professional wrestling event. And on top of that, you had a remarkable performer like Chad Gable be able to orchestrate this type of performance, knowing exactly what to do. This was the best heel work he's ever done in his career.
Oh, easily.
As a ring general in this match, he looked mean, he looked vicious, and completely in control, knowing exactly how to manipulate and orchestrate this crowd. And as a babyface performance, you would have never ever predicted it from Ludwig Kaiser, but he was outstanding here. Both of them were just like perfect babyface, perfect heel, perfect crowd, incredible atmosphere, and a brilliant finish. I wonder if there was like temptation to like somehow drag this thing out so that you could get that rematch, because I'm sure like they would see the dollar signs here and think, how could we not do a rematch of this? I'm glad they went with the right finish, because it just made for, I think, like a perfect moment, perfectly.
He's still got his hair. He could still put up his hair down the road.
I guess so. But that is the question. If you're AAA, like, how do you follow up on this? If your goal ultimately is to really, the big thing at the end of the rainbow for all of this is for them to get this American TV deal, right? Does this get them any closer? And if so, how do you do this again? But maybe even bigger.
Well, I would think for Triple Mania, you have to do something big with Ray. I think that's the big frontier for them, is something significant with Ray, whether it's with Dominic, whether it's with his mask, something that is a major deal for Ray, I think would be the next thing. I mean, just looking at, like, I was watching this live, and I think it peaked at like 260,000 viewers on the English feed, and then it had like another 70,000 or so on the Espanol feed. But like this, this has over 1.5 million views on the English feed, and this was just like, to me, it had everyone's interest on Saturday night. The wild thing is that as I finished this match, part of it is thinking like, man, these feel like the two hottest guys in wrestling at the moment. And you could put these two on Raw. And in fact, Chad Gable is flying to Italy, so he's probably going to be on Raw Monday. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, this might give some spark to Gable, but it's like, these guys outside of this environment, like, they will mean nothing on Raw. They will mean nothing on SmackDown. And yet this was... like, these guys drew this house. They had a match of the year contender. It was like, to me, this was one of like the all-time of a big time WWE main event. I just thought this was amazing.
To me, that is a failing of the WWE to not be able to translate this incredible story character onto their screen. Look at Like,
Could
okay,
you imagine like you were just watching Raw and you decided I'm going to watch this mask versus mask match and seeing them in this setting for the first time and your only exposure has been on Raw? This would blow your mind.
It's to a smaller degree, but like, you know, somebody like a Mystico feels like a big deal when he shows up in AEW. You know, somebody like a Mask of Dorada, to me at least, feels like at least somebody who's well known and feels like a bigger deal in an AEW. Why couldn't they have done that with somebody who felt on this night and like, you know, one of the biggest stars is certainly in the promotion. I would certainly say maybe in Lucha Libre. It's like, yeah, I thought they totally botched it from all of their appearances. I think they, even tonight, I feel like, you know, they could have, they mentioned it at least, but I just don't think it's in their sort of like playbook to be able to even convey something that's not on their show to a wider audience. And it's somewhat disappointing. But
do you think that Gable does get like some kind of reset on Raw, or do you imagine like he's going to be just right back into the same undercard, you know,
I think he's right back.
Comedic figure?
He's right back. I mean, he'll be unmasked, and I guess he can, you know, I wonder if he'll even be a babyface. Like they're under the expectation, and maybe they are right, that most people watching Raw, attending Raw, haven't watched a single second of AAA, right? And so, you know, look, how much can you really do at that point? But again, Gable is proving that he can be an incredible performer if given, you know, the task. Same with Kaiser. And you just hope that, you know, the office sees that and will give him a really, really strong role, whether babyface or heel, coming off of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, like you have like your SummerSlam in Minnesota. Like, you would think like this guy, like,
oh yeah,
the world would be his oyster. And I just don't know if that'll be the case. But man, if you were not sold, they were both incredible, but I came out of this like just looking at Gable. It was like, how has this guy been on your roster for this long? And like,
yeah, really,
like they've never come close to this with Chad
Vince
Gable.
Did a lot of damage to him, man, in all those years. You know, even if like he gets a serious run now, I think he's had to work years to wash the stench of Shorty G off.
PostWrestlingCafe.com is your destination throughout the entire month of June. It begins with Open House Week, where all members on the free tier get a full week slate of extra content. Following that, we have Brandon Thurston live in Delaware to cover the WWE merger lawsuit, and we will be doing wall-to-wall coverage with daily audio shows. Plus, we have Rewind Away looking back at the career of Manami Toyota, a review of WrestleMania 33. Karen and Bruce will cover New Japan's Best of the Super Juniors final along with Dominion, and we will get together for a new Ask Away mailbag show. PostWrestlingCafe.com, the destination for you.